Hi Year 13s, and welcome to the first video tutorial for trigonometry. And I'm going to look at some things early on that cover some just general graphing properties and ideas about functions that we really need to have a good foundation on before we really start to get into trig. So with this one here, we're going to start by looking at a concept called domain and range. And the domain of a function is simply the values that can be put into a function. So usually the x values that work, and then the range is all the possible numbers that can result. So that's basically your y values. So for an example of this, we're going to look at this function here, y equals sine x plus 3. And your calculator is really going to become your best friend in this standard. So I'm going to bring up the calculator here, bring it into view. And what I've done is I've gone to the table function. So that one there that's highlighted, number 7, it'll be somewhere on your calculator and you should look it up. So I've put in the function sine x plus 3. And then under set, I think on your calculators it says range. But F5, for this one, we'll put the start as negative pi, because that's what I've got on my graph. And the end we'll put as 4 pi, so 4 times pi. And the step, well, we're going up in steps of a third of pi, so I'll go pi divided by 3. And what that will do is that'll give me a table of values of x and y values. So that first value there is pi, and it's saying that y will be 3 at that value. The next one, we've got negative pi over 2, sorry, negative pi, 2 pi over 3, and that's 2.13, so around about there. And we've got the same value again, and then back up to 3. We'll follow it down, 3.866 and 3.866 again. So here and here, and you can probably already guess that the next point is going to be back down to 3. Indeed it is, and so we'll just follow that pattern that we know is going to repeat, because the trig graph is, the sine graph is symmetrical. And you can probably guess that we've got maximum and minimum between those points, so might as well draw those in as well. So there, that'll do. Okay, so I'll just try and sketch that in as carefully as possible. So there's our graph. You will have to do quite a lot of graphing in the standard, so don't shy away from it. Okay, not the greatest sine graph in the world, but it'll do for now. Okay, so with this particular graph, if we're thinking about our domain, well, it goes infinitely in this direction and infinitely in that direction, and the input can be any number, rational or irrational. And so for this particular function, our domain is simply going to be all real numbers. So the domain of this graph is going to be all real numbers, and they can be rational or irrational. And when we're talking about the range, that's the difference between the lowest and highest possible points. The range is going to be between 2 and 4. So our possible y values are going to be equal to or greater than 2, but smaller than or equal to 4. And so that's just a quick explanation of range. I got no work with this particular example. I just wanted you guys to know these terms, domain and range, and just be aware of what those words mean, because they will pop up in a lot of what we do.